So I would kind of try to take his licks and kind of try to make them my own. And you know, he was one of the bigger influences on me, and you know, other guys obviously like B.B. King was another big one, and just his tone, just being able to kill it with one note that he had, that vibrato that he had. Let me get this up here. Just a little bit. So BB would do some of this stuff that was just these real sweet licks, you know. So I'd try to take those, you know, and make them my own, and you know, there's all these guys, and it's so funny that they could take something like the blues, you know, 3 chords, and they could make their own statement that's so completely their own, and that was really the thing that really intrigued me about the blues stuff, and all the different guys, you know, how some of them would use a pick, some of them would use different tuning, some of them all that kind of stuff, and just how it affects the playing and the sound was something that was really cool to me. You know, Albert Collins would do stuff with his fingers, which is this really plucky sounding thing, which... And that was just something that I just loved, that sound. It was just one, and all these guys are guys that can go out there and they don't have a million licks, but they can play this stuff that just hits you right in the heart. And that was one of the things that about blues music that really drew me in right from the beginning.
You know, you don't always get it at that age, Josh. So that's pretty impressive all by itself. Well, that was really nice. I appreciate you doing that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You want to hand that mic to Dave real quick? Dave Kay is really the man that made this evening happen. You might remember a couple years back, he was playing drums with Smokin' Joe Kubik and Benoit King when they were performing in the Seville Theater over here for one of the anniversary shows, and he was wailing back there behind the skins, and he's got his own group here in San Diego, the Road Dogs, quite influential in the blues. And Dave, thanks for coming down and making time tonight and bringing Josh.
Thanks, T. I appreciate being here, and I want to thank the DJ Drew Miller for putting me in touch with you again.
So tell us a little bit about the Road Dogs before we get back to more from Josh.
Well, the Road Dogs is a 3-piece rock and blues band that I've had for probably about 4 years with some different personnel. When I went out on the road with Smokin' Joe, I couldn't really support the local band very much, and after I did a couple years out on the road and decided that was enough of that, I put my heart into this band. And so for the last just about 2 years, well, the first year after I got off the road with Smokin' Joe, we did about 100 shows in that first year. So we've been hitting it pretty hard every weekend, and then I had a personnel change about 3 or 4 months ago, and things are really clicking right now. We're just really winning people over everywhere we go. And then, you know, Josh comes to just about every show. It depends. Sometimes the venue won't let him in, or his schedule, he's doing some recording, or he's out of town, he can't play with us. But we try and have Josh with us at every show. He really raises the energy of it, and people really respond to him.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds, and he'll be at the next couple of shows you're talking about tonight.
Yeah, if you look on our website, you know, pretty much every show Josh is there unless he's got something that comes up that conflicts.
Well, I bet your group, just the 3 of you, must be wailing all by yourselves.
Yeah, I always, my idea was to have a 3-piece that functioned just fine, and then we would add other players as needed. Sometimes we had, you know, a sax or a keyboard or another guitar player, and then the funny thing is, my last guitar player recommended that Josh, you know, sit in with us at a show one time, and I was kind of apprehensive because he said, I know this 18-year-old guitar player that plays pretty good. Josh was 17 at the time, and I was like, well, I'd rather hear him first or see him, you know, maybe have him play one song with us. And then, as it turned out, Josh came and did a big benefit we were doing down at Campland, and, you know, halfway into the first song, I was thinking how naive I was to to be worried about it. And Josh just lights it up every time he's there.
Well, that's great. If you don't mind, I think we'll let him light up another one here for us. It's pretty interesting with these backing beds, so I don't know what the setup for this one is, Josh. Which way are we going to go with this one?
We're going to get funky on this one. This one's just a real funky number that, you know, it's definitely going to have that Albert Collins influence and a lot of the guys who really like to get under those strings, so Let's have a go at it.
Here's Josh Gooch on Blues 88.3.